Hey there, Cheryl here. Thanks so much for joining live. It is a beautiful Friday morning here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Got home very late last night from 4 days about learning about thought leadership. So I'll be sharing that with you all at some point as well. But today we're talking about how to lay the foundation for success. In other words, the pre-work that we need to do before we really go after it and commit to being world-class at what's most important to us. There's a certain things that world-class athletes and world-class business people do so they can really set themselves up for success. It's almost like if you're building a home, you have to build a solid foundation first. So that home is being built there solid and it's not being built on quicksand. I hope that makes sense. And for ladies, it'd be like putting primer on before your makeup. So it's just a foundation that we're going to talk about, world-class tips, tools, and habits, so you can lay that foundation for success. So when you start learning information and when you really get clear on your journey of where you want to go, you can make clear and measurable progress. So last time, 2 days ago, we talked about believing that what you want is possible. So that might sound a little bit silly, but it is absolutely hugely important. And so if you didn't see that live, basically the gist of it a couple days ago was just to start to futurecast yourself into the person that you want to become rather than in your current circumstances, and start thinking about what you want, deserve every night. So think about it this way: world-class athletes, athletes that are training for the Olympics, and keep in mind that I consider you all multi-sport athletes because we're hopping in between our family and our career and all sorts of different things. And what we want to achieve is no less important than the Olympics, kind of like our Olympics, if that makes any sense. But last time we talked about starting to futurecast yourself and really believe in what you want is possible and think about it every night before you go to bed. So, and if you can make it as vivid and visceral as possible. So if you want the details on that, that was the last episode, which I believe was 7, just 2 days ago. But today we're going to talk about step 2, or part 2 in this, laying the foundation for your success so you can set yourself up for consistent progress. And you'll always hear me say that consistency always wins. And if you're an athlete performing for an event, you practice consistently. So consistency is incredibly important. So get consistent about thinking of the person that you want to become. Specifically, if you can do that at night and also in the morning, that is really great. Today, we're going to talk about how to set up one type of accountability structure for yourself. Because here's the thing, even if we have amazing intentions, our intentions don't necessarily translate into consistent action if we're going at it alone. And I'm speaking from experience and for myself and for a lot of my clients. And if you're just joining live, my name's Sheryl. I'm a mental toughness coach, published author, speaker, and today we're talking about laying the foundation for your success so you can see progress towards what you want and deserve. And this is part 2, and the topic of today is setting up an accountability structure, or one type of accountability structure for yourself. And the type of accountability structure we're talking about is peer accountability. In other words, someone that is kind of your equal. It could be a friend, it could be a colleague, it could be a family member, but I tend to shy away from that unless you have a really good, special, solid relationship with someone. It can get a little tricky with family. I recommend a colleague or friend, and it is hopefully someone that is understands what you're doing, understands the importance, and in a perfect world is maybe has a little bit more experience than you in the area, but not 100% necessary. But you want to make sure that you choose someone as an accountability partner that's committed to the process. In other words, they understand why you want them as an accountability partner, and they agree to show up at a minimum every week. Some accountability partners meet like once a day, they check in. I mean, and that's pretty hardcore. So if that sounds too hardcore, that's totally fine. But you can think about meeting with someone once a week, either by phone or in person or whatever works for you. And so you want to make sure that they understand what you want and need, understand that it is a commitment, and that if they don't want to meet with you and check in, then that's totally fine. You would appreciate them just letting you know, and you can find someone else. And you want to make sure that they're not threatened by you anyway, they're not in competition with you, and that they really have your best interest at heart. So this person is really important, because how you set this up is once a week you'll meet, and it can be 10 or 15 minutes, doesn't have to be very long. You can discuss with them what you are committed to doing and why it's important. And here's a couple things that are really important to set yourself up for success that you want to share with your accountability partner. You want to figure out a way, tell them a way that you're going to celebrate, and you can do it together, or tell them a way that you're going to do it on your own. And then also when you meet, if you don't do what you say you're going to do, you're also going to set up a consequence for yourself, because this is really important, because we're trying to form a new habit. That's what we're really doing. And having an accountability partner to do this is important. Celebrating the good is important, but also having some consequences for the not so good is important too. And socializing these is incredibly important. So here's what this might look like. If I'm going to write a blog 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I might verbalize that to my accountability partner or accountability buddy. And just us saying something out loud to someone else is going to make it more likely that it's going to happen. That's the first thing. The second thing is, when you know you have a timeline, you know you need to report something to someone, you're more likely to get it done. And you also want to make sure that your accountability partner, accountability buddy, is someone that's also going to challenge you if you don't get it done. So you don't want a yes person. You don't want someone to say, oh, it's okay, don't worry, you'll get it done next time. I mean, if something really gets in the way, an emergency, they should be understanding. But under normal circumstances, they should push you and question you if you don't get it done on your journey to figure out how to be better next time. So I hope that makes sense. You want to pick someone who is your equal. So for an accountability partner, in other words, a colleague or a friend, you want to make sure they're not in direct competition with you, they're not threatened by you, and that they have your best interest at heart. And you also want to make sure that they're committed to the process. So I hope that makes sense. I want you to start to think about 3 people that might be good accountability partners for you, and write those down if you can. The second thing is I want you to think about is, well, if you're going to meet for 10 or 15 minutes, what are you going to talk about? So that's going to be figure out the most important controllable step that you need to do in order to make progress. So in other words, and then you want to block that in. So in other words, for an athlete, if they're a 400-meter runner, they need to shave some time off their 400-meter race. So what they're going to do is they need to practice their starts. So their starts, that's where they can shave the most time off. So you want to think about, for you as well, where can you make the most amount of progress, and where do you need to make the most progress? Where is most important that you make the most progress to move forward? And that is what you want to set your sights on doing. And it should be something controllable. It should be something also that you're going to block into your calendar to do. So block it in, make it in red, make it whatever you put your important appointments, either with friends or doctors or what have you. Really raise the necessity of that, and then set up a way that you're going to celebrate when you get it done. And it could be something as simple as grabbing coffee with a friend, or watching a half an hour TV show that you really, really, really want to watch, or just could be anything really, or going for a nice walk with a friend or what have you. But set up that accountability structure for yourself. So what I want you to do now is pick 3 people that might be good accountability partners for you, because the world's best athletes and business people, they all have accountability structures set up for themselves, and it really will help you with consistent and measurable progress. So I hope that that makes sense. What you can do right now is write down 3 people that might be good accountability partners for you. And if you want some accountability and you want to join a challenge, then let me know and say, that's me, and we'll go ahead and set one up in our closed Facebook group, which is, the handle is Mental Toughness Coaching, and I'll go ahead and post that in here. And so write down 3 people that might be good accountability partners for you. I want you to kind of list them in 1, 2, and 3, and then maybe reach out to them, let them know what you're working on, see if they are willing to meet with you once a week, and you might want to flip it, see if they're working on something and if they want you to be their accountability partner as well. So that is the second part to laying the foundation for your success. Part 1 had to do with believing that what you want is possible, and thinking about and future casting yourself very vivid and viscerally every night and every morning. Think about where you want to go, why it's important to you, and what it would really feel like to get there. And today was all about laying the foundation for an accountability structure so you can make clear and measurable progress. So I hope that served you. If it did, please do share if you think that it will serve someone else. If you're not on my weekly content list, my VIP list also for my book, go ahead and hop on that. You can do that at my website, which is www.sherylkline.com. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you first thing Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please be sure to also post any questions or comments. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have an amazing weekend. Take care.